The low, bright sun brings warmth to the cold weather of Aberdeenshire and is seeping through Tyrebagger forest. The sky is clear and the week's wind has calmed down. Arriving in our little red Mini, a car park comes into view. There, we are greeted by a sign that lays out the possible walking paths. The Robber's Trail is our adventure. Leaving the car behind, we walk up to the first signpost. This forest is well walked. We can see this not only from the compacted earth, but also from the waste that is scattered around it. A plastic bag of dog waste lays on the side of the path. We walk up a hill next to the path. Through the entangled tree branches, we spot a roadside sign on a dual carriageway, not even 30 meters away. The dichotomy of sound brings us back to reality between the chatting birds, the leaves rustling in the wind, the crunching of our steps, and the zooming of cars driving at high speeds. But as we keep walking and turn away from the road, the sounds of traffic soon fade into the distance. There is something mystical about the forest. We spot an object at the foot of a tree. Stepping off the path to get a closer look, we realize it is a little painted door. Imagine little fairies living here, maintaining the forest while humans wonder how it's so well kept. Little do we know. Walking deeper into this hidden land, we encounter sculptures, man-made sculptures, intertwined into the shapes and designs of nature. A nod to the granite city itself, a block of 2 stones striped black and grey stood out on a small hill. Black and white stripes of this strange creation have been visible from beyond the trees for a while now. As we approach, the questions in our heads remain unanswered. We don't know what it is, or why it is. All we know is that it is a slab of granite, or possibly marble, made out of bright grey and black pieces. Perhaps art? A vertical zebra crossing in the middle of a forest. This piece of processed and polished rock engaged in a kiss with this raw and moss-covered boulder. What a misalliance. The forest is made out of many different textures, from abrasive bark to soft and carpety moss. These textures create their own universes within the greater realm of the forest. They have their own colors, patterns, materials, structures. They coexist and contradict. They are dimensional. They tempt us to touch them, to feel them underneath our fingertips. Whether it is abrasive bark or soft moss, it is satisfying to become familiar with the way they feel. Even in what seems to be such a natural place, humans have left their mark. Doggy bags, coffee lids, and metal cans pollute the areas we encounter. Forests change daily. Trees are planted. Footprints are set and trees uprooted. A symbol of life and death. Trees expose their organs, usually buried deep into the earth for protection and support. This earthly cycle reveals hidden faces, a mystical entrance to the natural world before humans intervened. This messiness of naturally uprooted trees lay in stark contrast to the clean lines of human interventions. Tree stumps dotted the forests. Humans trying to bring an unnatural order to a natural space. The winter hues surround us, submerge us, but bursts of a natural color dot the landscape. Rubbish and rubbish again. Made to be alluring, these colors distract our eyes from the countryside around it. Similarly, luminous green and white paint stain certain trees, clearly marked for something, but we don't know what. We approach a pasture. A plastic bottle lays in the grass. It is green inside, the same shade of green as the omnipresent moss. What an unexpected parallel, we thought. Heading back into the woods, we see the second sculpture sparkle in the distance. A dog stares at us as we make our way up the hill. The mirrored sculpture is covered in scratches and engravings. We wonder what it represents. A tree? A whale's tail? It stands alone. The reflected sunlight creates lines onto the shaded forest floor. More tree stumps. Doesn't that one look like a toilet seat? Strange. Appropriately, another plastic bag of dog waste lays on the side of the path. We come onto a gate with an abnormally big padlock. Quite amusing, really, for this part of the wilderness to be restricted. We wander the carefully demarcated path. Another piece of waste, a round iced coffee lid. We think of how its whiteness and transparency stands out among the surroundings. How the perfect circle of its edge does not correspond to uneven lines of leaves and spikiness of the grass. We take it with us, bringing back the natural harmony. As we continue our walk, we think about circles. The forest is full of sounds. Startled, we notice the creaking of two trees scraping against each other as they sway in the wind. This deep, mystical tone reveals the deep time of the environment, echoing and reverberating through the gaps between trees. A plastic bag of dog waste lays on the path. We spot a strange black bumpy texture somewhat on the edge of the path. Plastic has this funny quality that it looks exactly the same regardless of its size. The black ridges appear to belong to a tube that extends beneath our feet. We step out of the path, curious to look inside it. There is something about lurking into holes. Isn't it a circle? We thought. At this moment, we were hit with a realization. These circles, coffee lids, and pipes, they do not introduce a new shape into the environment. The shape has always been here, hidden, revealed only after the accidental breakage, but more evidently as a result of a conscious human interference. The cross-section of a tree. It is a circle, though not a perfect one. Perhaps more of a hoop. A hoop with a hoop with a hoop inside a hoop. A pattern of hoops which tells us the age of that tree. How ironic is that in order to learn the number of hoops, we somewhat determinedly take away a possibility for the creation of a new hoop. The circular shapes become more obvious after that. We spot more human interventions further up the path. Plastic tubes support baby plants so they can root themselves firmly and grow into the giants that surround us. We notice more off-road paths and man-made objects as we resume our journey. Bridges, tables, benches, even stone walls encircle us. These constructions that were once enjoyed by many now lay neglected, and nature is taking back control, growing in ways that were once impossible. As our red trail merges with the blue one, we stumble across a corrugated metal plate laying in the woods. So unnatural in this natural habitat. The sculpture seems to encourage interaction. We walk on it, look at it, and touch it. It reminds us of a thumbprint, a literal stamp humans have left behind in this landscape. Very haptic, we thought, as we walked away. A plastic bag of dog waste lay on the side of the path. We spot a red glove on one of the wooden signposts. A clean, usable glove. Someone might be looking for this. How did they lose it? What story lies behind this little person's glove? One more corner. The car park with our trusty little red Mini comes back into view.